welcome back to Two Kims.
One Pod.
One Pod. We are your host, Peter Kim.
And I'm Unji Kim.
That's right. And we are going on tour, babies. If you're listening to this when it's dropped, I think we have like a week left or 2 weeks until we're on the East Coast tour.
Yes.
August 2nd, we'll be in Pittsburgh at the City Winery.
August 3rd.
We really need your help with Pittsburgh because not a lot of Asians and even less queers. So we need all you
people.
Asians.
Yeah.
Lots of bridges, lots of hoagies. Ton of steel, but we're hoping that even if you're not Asian or queer, that you'll come out to our shows. And August 3rd, we're going to be in Philly at the City Winery.
Tickets are going
please
fast.
come out to that as well. Those tickets are going super fast. Yeah, so get those. New York City, Stand Up New York, Upper West Side. Come on, it's a homecoming. If you're a New Yorker, East Coaster, New Jersey, come on out to that. And if you live a little bit up towards like Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Boston, we'll be in Boston on that Saturday, August 5th. So those are our tour dates. Go check that out. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you on the road.
Please come out.
Yeah, please come out. It's time for our newest segment on this pod. It's called Tops and Bottoms. That's right. We're going to do some tops and bottoms of our week. My top for this week is, I got to say, the SAG strike. I got to say the actors, Fran Drescher, the nanny came through. Me being from Flushing, I was very proud of the nanny. And even though there was a couple of moments where I was like, you seem surprised that the studios are greedy. Where have you been? She had this impassionate speech about like, I can't believe the studios don't care about us. I'm like, yeah, girl, what are you talking about? They're all tech giants. They're no longer even studios anymore, you know? Yeah. So anyway, I love that this SAG's out, which means 160,000 members are on strike. So our picking lines will be a little fatter now, which will be great, which means I get to picket less. So that's a huge win for me. What was a top for you?
I would say a top for me was I had like an annual girls dinner this week with friends from Improv One. So it's been a decade since I've known these girls and these women, actually. And it was a highlight.
You've kept in touch with women from your Improv One class?
That's right. The original.
Whoa.
Like, I'm talking about, we literally met on the first day of class.
Whoa.
And we're still friends.
That's phenomenal. I've never heard that before.
I know. It's really wild. And so
Do you remember your teacher?
Euler.
Craig Euler?
Yeah.
Improv One. That's rare too, because he rarely teaches Improv One.
I mean, it was a good class.
I don't know what he does now, but when we were there.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a good teacher.
Okay.
And so they're all like kind of, one lives there. Like we're all kind of like in different parts, and we get together annually and have this really great catch-up dinner. And it was particularly fun. Big life like milestones happening for everyone. There was good gossip from Second City, and there was good gossip about...
Is there anything you could share, or is that a Patreon thing?
Let's have it be a Patreon thing.
Okay. Sign up for the Patreon.
But yeah, there have been a couple of really big name celebrities that have come to Second City to do the set.
And were they misbehaving?
Oh, they were misbehaving.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Yes. And
I have a couple of guesses on who it is because I saw on Instagram, like some people were back in the last couple of weeks.
That's correct.
Let me just ask you, male or female? Can you say?
Of course it was male.
Of course. What am I saying? I don't know. I don't know why I even asked if it was female.
I mean, I thought this transgression was big enough that it would show up on Dumas.
Oh, really? And it didn't. Interesting.
Not yet.
Did you submit it? Did you submit that blind item and waiting for it to be published?
I'm just waiting for it to pop up. I guess maybe the writing wasn't tight enough. But I did not submit. But I'm surprised that it hasn't shown up on Dumas. It may still. It may still.
Let's look out for it. So that was your top.
Yeah, truly, like wonderful gossip. Hot gossip. I have my girlfriends to share it with. We got properly drunk. It was a fun catch up, and it's always great to see. Yes. And so what was your bottom?
Bottom. I had a couple bottoms, but
A couple of bubble bottoms. Yeah.
bubble bottoms. Yes. My bubblest bottom this week was okay. Anji, you and I have a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, on this very podcast, have discussed whether we can be friends with someone whose craft we don't respect. And then remember, the mirror was turned on us. What if people don't respect
Yes.
And we were like, ew, stop. Let's stop talking about it, right? Okay. The reason I'm even bringing it up right now is that after that conversation, I went to this person's event because I was invited.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you I could not stop from frowning, that I had to put a pen in my mouth, like bite on it, so that it looks like I'm biting the pen instead of frowning.
Frowning.
Because this was...
Like, show me your frown. Yes.
My frown isn't down like sad. It's scowl. I don't have a frown.
Scowl.
Yeah, I wasn't sad. Let me tell you. It went straight to rage. Okay? For those listening and not viewing, I'm trying to frown, but my upper lip curls up in contempt. You know, it's like real like... I'm judgy and I'm gonna be loud about it. That's the face, right? So I had to do this. I had to be like this for like 2.
Oh.
Not better, but now that I'm seeing myself do it, not better.
No.
But I thought it was going to assuage the look of disgust, but it didn't, I guess. But it was a thing where they asked for feedback, and I couldn't stay and give feedback. I had to leave. And
wait, what did you say? Did you beg? How did you beg off? Like, oh, was there an emergency? You just ran away?
I ran away. They were like, maybe we could all like hang out and like discuss afterwards and like workshop this thing. And I was like, I gotta go. I was with a friend. We ran to my car, rolled up the windows, and screamed. It was. I couldn't.
You acted like as if you had to like go. There was an emergency, like there was a bodily. Like you look. Did you?
I had active diarrhea.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt like it. I had active emotional diarrhea. Like I was about to emotionally shart, and when we got to the car, like we blasted the AC and screamed for 30 minutes because. And this is so like. We're friends with them.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard, because if I didn't love them, this wouldn't be an issue. Sure. A, I would never be there. And no. B, I wouldn't care enough to like have this like pull of like, I love you as a friend, but I hate what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of like.
Wait, what if it was someone you didn't love? What would you have said?
I don't think I would have stayed for feedback. Either way.
Yeah.
I think I would only give feedback if it's constructive, and I had nothing constructive to say.
Only destructive.
Let me tell you, if I spoke, you'd be in rubbles. You'd look like Chernobyl.
It'd be rubbles. It'd be
rubble.
Barney.
It'd be Barney Rubbles.
Barney Rubbles, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be active trauma. And I'm not trying to do that to a friend. So I kept my mouth shut and I ran. And I think that's the kind thing to do, by the way. I don't think I should have stayed. Because you know my face, I can't hide anything. I can't sit there and be like, dang, yeah, it was cute. You know, like I can't do that. So I'm glad I left. And that was the bottom for me, because it didn't feel good. It didn't feel great to be there.
Let me ask you something wild. Would it have been possible for you to have lied?
No. I don't think so. I'm not that good. I'm not that good of a liar to sit there and be like, oh my God, so fun. You know, like you would see right through it. So I don't think I could have lied.
You couldn't say terrific,
Name one thing I liked about it or something.
Yeah.
And just kind of like,
oh
my God.
Congratulations on finishing it.
Oh my God. The AC was so nice in here. You really kept it comedy cold. You know?
The comedy was served on ice.
Yeah.
Chilly.
DOA even.
Yeah. I'm glad I brought a cardigan. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think it's better that I left. And yeah, I had nothing good to say. Anyway, so that was my bottom.
Did they reach out and ask you what you thought?
They reached out and asked me a completely different question, and which was kind of a fish for something. So I said, by the way, not much feedback to give. I had fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was a harrowing experience for me. I think it's really tough to sit through someone you enjoy, but the thing you don't enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to think. I don't know anybody I'm not friends with anybody like.
I know.
Yeah. So it's kind of,
it's a terrible situation. Anyway, what was your bottom of the week?
Wait, by the way, this reminds me, if you are in Chicago, or maybe even, I don't know what's happening with this production, but it was, Looking Glass Theater put out an all Asian like musical called Lucy and Charlie's Honeymoon. I went to go see it. My friend Ramel Chan, as you know him well, he's in it along with another friend of mine. It's a musical comedy / like caper, and it is all Asian American casts along with like a couple of like villainous white people. Everyone plays instruments. They all sing on stage. It's like an exciting, fun, beautiful musical. Like it was something like, it's a very novel experience, also very novel type of storytelling, and yet it was very theatrical and normal, like all that stuff. It wouldn't feel avant-garde, but it felt exciting because things were new.
Cool.
Very exciting. That's what I mean. I was like, I had the exact opposite experience where I was just like watching Ramel on stage. He was being so funny. So good.
I love Ramel.
He's so good. And my husband, so talented. Like if he's going to be in the movie of this someday.
Yeah.
And my husband would not shut up about how beautiful he thought Ramel's voice was. I was like, what's going on here? Like very into it. Okay. My bottom was a show I did.
Isn't that just how it goes?
It was, you didn't believe me, but I've never really been to a beach in Chicago.
Wait, what the hell? Because you posted something about doing a show on the beach.
Yes, it was on the beach, North Avenue Beach.
That venue looked hard because it was everyone was like so kind of scattered, and it was bright, and the whole wall behind you is the ocean. So how distracting is that? Like you're just watching rolling waves and people playing gleefully in the sand. And it wasn't at night where it's like you can't see the ocean. It was daytime, full daytime, and you're up there and you're competing with Mother Nature. No,
the tide.
The tides.
The tides?
But what does that mean? You've never been to the beach in Chicago. What does that mean? You've never been to the beach in Chicago? You never been to Lake Michigan?
I've never been to North Avenue Beach. I have not been to the beach like that kind of beach. I've been to the beach.
You've been to the gay beach, right?
No.
What's happening?
I don't enjoy being outside.
Oh. Like this is your city.
I know. I've literally been outside. Only time I've been to the beach was when we watched the sun rise because like being drunk and like just walking to the beach in college. because it's Loyola.
Have you ever been to like a coastal beach?
Yes, I went when I went to Charleston. So I went to the beach
So you've
there.
done that, but in Chicago, you've never been. That's
No.
crazy to me. That's
Yeah.
like part of the joy of living in Chicago is enjoying the beach.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hate outside. I hate being
Okay.
outside. It's sandy. Everyone's shirt was off. It felt crazy. I was like, this is like a different kind of lifestyle in a different part of the city.
You would love Hollywood Beach though. It's gay as fuck, and everyone's shirt off, and they look good, and they're in tiny speedos.
It's the sun. It's the vastness of the horizon. I just don't. Anyways, whatever. I don't know how to swim. You know what I mean? Like my neuroses is really popping off right now, where you can really understand why I'm like this, right? Like I put on appearances of being a normal human being, and then I'm kind of talking about my fear of the horizon, and you're like, oh, you're crazy. This is the yeah. So I'm walking to the.
It all makes sense.
It all is coming together. So I'm walking to the venue, and like I'm wearing pants, boots, like I'm dressed for an evening, and everyone is wearing flip flop because they're at the beach. In my mind, what I was wearing was a beach appropriate.
Okay.
White denim pants, a knit top, and cowboy boots. This is what I thought. I was like, oh, it's kind of breezy. Absolutely not. I
not the vibe.
Not the vibe. And so it's at this shore club at the whatever. It's a Don't Tell show, and I get there and I'm just like, this. It was.
They get great crowds.
They get great crowds, but the venue
People get great clips out of them. Hundreds of thousands of views.
Hundreds of thousands of views. I was at one of those, and this was not one of those shows. So it looked like you saw it. It was literally an outdoor
It looked like
wedding.
a wedding event space.
Yes, it literally is like a wedding tent reception kind of thing, like this with the things on the sides. Everyone's spaced out. There were 70 people there, but everyone was spaced apart and not close together. And your voices and the laughs all went straight up.
The acoustics looked terrible.
And it was, I got off stage and it was just new. I told you this, but it was new to bomb to my own echo. Like to say something
and hear only your own voice come back to you
to this in the silence, along with the hum of the rosé slushy machine. Yeah. No.
Oh God. No.
Yeah. The rosé slushy machine that was going like and like that, and it was a deafening bomb. And the thing is, everyone was very happy. Like that's the thing. All these like Indian guys like came up after me after the show and were like, "Oh my God, you're wonderful. I wanted to take a fucking picture with me." And then I got in their faces and was like, "Why didn't you fucking laugh?" As opposed to want to take a picture with me after the show when I'm clearly upset and I don't. And the picture we're gonna take is not gonna be good. And
but I'll take it anyway because I love the attention. But they were like a nodding crowd and not they were nodding and smiling crowd, not a LOL crowd. Sometimes that happens.
Because they're not close.
That's unavoidable. That's unavoidable. You know, like the closeness really does affect it. But you know what night of the week was it?
Thursday. I mean, it's a hot crowd. It was all the things. Everyone was excited to be there. It was
Did other people kill?
No. Everyone kind of had trouble.
That's just one of those nights. Like you can't help it. You can't help it.
But this is
But they had a good time.
Everyone had a great time. But this is the actual bottom, okay? This is not the actual bottom. It gets worse. I'm trying
worse
to
than
leave.
bombing in front of quiet Indian boys?
I'm trying to leave from this venue, and I'm calling Ubers. And it's in the roundabout at North Center. Like the beach or whatever. And so there's like a roundabout of where cars coming out. I'm waiting there, and it's just like, I would say 20 feet from the venue. Okay. And Uber after Uber is canceling on me. I'm waiting outside for 30 minutes. That means that all 70 of the people that just watched me bomb walked by as I was looking at my phone, waiting for the Uber to arrive. And there's nothing more humbling than waiting there as everyone who has just watched you bomb passes by, and periodically people would say, "Keep plugging away." Hey, I don't know. Hey, I don't know what was wrong with that crowd. I thought you were funny.
Oh no.
No. There's more. A man walked by and said,
Unsolicited?
Yes.
Did you have a downtrodden face?
You
did, right?
Of course
you
I
did.
have been
Of course you
defeated.
did.
I'm also not a good actor.
You look defeated and you're standing around possibly waiting for a car. They felt like they needed to give you a little bit.
It was so...
They're like, she might kill herself. We need to really lift her spirits tonight.
It was so humbling. By to have like so many groups of people walk by and kind of be like, hey man, keep going. Like, and just being like, I'm actually doing really good. Like, today was an off night, and trying to defend myself. And one guy walked by and was like, hey, sorry, I tried to pay attention, but it was just so loud in there. And I'm like,
oh my God, no. Oh, God.
It was just group after group after group of people offering. It went from condolences. For the death of my set and my comedy career and
of your ego
and my ego and like telling me to like keep going. Like it was
hang in there.
I mean, it was so humiliating, and my Uber kept getting canceled, and I'm spiraling not only about like all my set but also my Uber rating, because at that point I'm like, what's happening with me that Ubers are canceling?
Uber heard about your set.
This is what I'm assuming.
They heard you bobbed.
They're like, oh, we don't want to have that.
We can't pick her up. She could start talking in the car.
Like, I can't even deal with this drama.
She might try to get a laugh out of one of our drivers. No, we can't. We both paid him enough for this. They don't even have benefits. We can't put them through her comedy.
Her desperate need for validation. We're not here for that. 0 stars. 0 stars. So I wind up finally ask one of the producers that are coming out with the equipment from the show. I get a ride with one of them to like drop me off, just drops me off in front of Second City. Just somewhere
out of that mess.
Out of that mess. So I try to I go to a Second City and I get dropped off there. I get canceled on. So my 6th Uber was my charm.
Wow.
I get into the Uber and the guy there proceeds to tell me about how I really need to sell merch. It's like
because you told him you were a comedian.
Because I needed. You were joking about the validation. I wasn't. I was not.
I knew you know. No, I wasn't joking. I was not joking. I know you. And I knew by the time you got into that car, you were revving up.
It's just like, all right, finally a captive audience that can hear me.
I'm paying him.
And now this is the way that comedy should work. So yeah. I'm like, and I'm giving him my best, like whatever. He's watching my clips in the Uber. Like
what? Why? Because he looked you up, but he's driving. This is chaotic. This is wild and chaotic, and
this is why it's a bottom. Like there's no. Like
you're right. You're right. I asked for it. I asked for this.
This is like a deep bottom.
Yeah.
And Peter, as he's watching my clips, the feedback, he's like, you know what you got to do is sell merch. And he did not laugh. He did not tell me I'm doing a good job. He was just like, you got a pretty face. You've got a platform. You need to sell merch. And he was like,
oh my God.
He started doing the math on it. He was like, imagine you've got 22 or whatever on Instagram. You've got 40 on TikTok. Like, imagine if everyone just gave you $1. That's a lot of money. And I was just like, yeah, okay, sir. And he's like doing the math on it, and he's like, he made me follow him. He's starting to try to start a popcorn company. You know what I mean? It was just like, I entered wanting something very specific from him, and I came out with nothing. And that is
rock bottom. That's your bottom. Wow. Sorry to that man.
Yeah, I really am sorry, sir. I was in such a vulnerable place. Oh, brother. Okay. Speaking of this kind of trauma, we're gonna try it on a different segment this week. It's gonna be called Trauma-rama ling dong.
Dong. This came about from Unji noticing that a lot of our listeners write in about trauma. And so we thought, we love to hear that, but we should maybe share some of our own, right? So not that we don't every fucking episode, but now it's encased in a little.
Now there's like a little segment.
Box. Yeah. Okay, so what's your weekly trauma?
So this trauma that I was remembering was this time when I was 6, where it was the only piano competition I've ever entered, and it was taking place at McCormick Place, which is downtown Chicago.
Wait, I thought you played cello.
Oh yeah, I played cello for 8 years, and I played piano for 8 years.
You did both? I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm a very accomplished musician, and I never talk about it.
But you never talk about it, nor do you ever perform it or post it or anything.
It's like the same thing with my tennis. It's like I was okay, and I'm okay at both of those things too. But I'm just like,
that's not what you're not putting that forward.
Yes, it's something
you're
like
not
if you
bring your
get to know
cello
me,
on the road.
I'm sorry, I sold it to pay for student debt, and
fair.
Yeah, that's my K-drama moment. Like maybe that should be another segment. Like me taking the bus back after I've sold my cello with like one single tear. Is it going to my serving job? But
later, a rich man, a corporate heir to a conglomeration, shows up to your house with a brand new cello.
Oh, and then I go beep beep.
It's like, oh wow, that's bad.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I got good enough to know that I wasn't good.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, that I would never be able to do anything. So I played piano, and this was my first piano competition that I was entered into. My teacher had set this up, and it was at McCormick Place. So it was a huge competition with all levels and stuff. And my parents and I are driving there. I don't even know. I don't think it was just my mom and my Como, because my dad was working, clearly. So and no one knows how to drive downtown. If you guys are familiar with Chicago or Lower Wacker, one of the Dark Knights, Batman Dark Knights, was filmed there. So that kind of epic, it's like all underground. It's very confusing. If you don't know how to get around, it's very confusing. And also if you're a Korean immigrant and you don't know how to read, it's also very confusing.
That hurts.
That really hurts.
Not helping.
Not helping. And this is before Google Maps. This is before GPS. This is just, you got to have a paper map and like an intuition and like some sort of, and this is a car full of Asian women trying to get to this.
That's a stereotype waiting to be fucking captured right
I'm
there.
just saying, that's just like, it's unfortunate, but this is what was happening. No one knew how to speak English. No one could read signs, and no one could read a map.
No one could drive.
No one could drive. And also, I'm 6. So
that's the worst part.
I'm the most literate together person in the car, and I am 6. And I am also dressed to the nines. I am covered in bows. I'm covered in bows.
God, your recital outfit.
Like I got a side pony.
Your hair,
it's covered in bows. My puffy sleeves covered in bows. Barrettes.
Bow barrettes.
Bow barrettes.
My God.
Side pony. Bow barrettes.
She's ready to stunt.
I'm ready to stunt. I'm ready for. I'm covered in bows to prepare myself for the ribbon that I will be receiving at this competition.
Hello. Okay. She's got bows in her head, but bow in her hand. No, you were a piano.
I'm a piano.
I keep thinking cello. But yeah, you're ready.
And we can't figure out a way in. And so we wind up, just because we just keep circling and circling, we just miss my entire competition. We don't get in. We can't find an entrance. And then my parents
even play.
My mom is just trying to convince me to just go home. She's like, let's just fuck this. Just like, we're never going to find it. Let's just go home. And I'm like, God. We can figure it out. I'm 6, but I swear to God, I can figure this out. And I'm just keep pointing to every single exit to try and try and try. Yeah. And my mom wants to give up. And my aunt is just along for the ride. And so we finally get to the entrance, and it is at the end of the day. And the only spot available is in the most advanced piano group.
Oh, God.
So these are all like 12, 13-year-old kids who have been playing piano for much longer and are like serious about it.
Yeah.
I'm 6. I'm covered in bows. I'm going to be playing the tarantella. These people are playing full concertos, like
yes, Chopin.
They're doing etudes, they're nocturne, and my piano teacher is just like, just for the experience, why don't you do this?
Just get out there. Oh my God.
The humiliation.
Oh my God.
To have started the day. Like, if you could imagine, like, starting the day with like hairspray, pulling your hair, you're getting ready to show up, show out, and do. And I've been practicing. Dee 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 dee
dee dee dee. Yeah, you have it down.
I have it down, and I'm going to be competing with other 6-year-olds who are also going to be doing dee 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 or dee 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 dee, right? And
the easier one.
The easier one. It's the lowest competition level. Wrong.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't just like entry level.
White belts.
White belt. I'm doing data entry.
Yeah.
D. And these people are, you know, they're doing analysis. They're consultants. And it was quite honestly one of the most humbling, humiliating. It's like formative. Because if you think about it, that sort of like humiliation, that kind of like effort on my part, being unprepared and matched up against people, like that sort of mismatch is something that I have played out time and time again. That kind of humility is something that I experience all the time. It was so fucking formative. And the fact that it occurred because I was just in a car of like,
idiots.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's just so embarrassing, and it is the stereotype, right? Like, and that's why I can't really like talk about it. It's so embarrassing, like through and through. And even the fact that I'm going to a fucking piano competition, like all of it.
It's so stereotypical. Everything of all of it.
All of it. And so I have like, the thing is, every time I go onto Lower Wacker, it is a trigger. Like, I recall.
Wow,
and
you still feel like your heartbeat gets high?
I'm very nervous. I go out of my way to avoid that part because I feel like I'm going to get lost in there.
Wow. Yeah. And then and then you'll be stuck in that humiliation forever.
It's like literally a spiral, dude. It's literally a spiral.
Uh-huh.
The Lower Wacker is literally a spiral.
I think you have to do another piano recital to get over this. We need you. Maybe in your special, you do the dee 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 and to close it out, and that'll like heal some of this pain from some of this trauma. Damn, it's such a like classic Korean girl trauma. Like your mom and your komo, are like can't come through for you. You're looking ridiculous with 900 bows in your hair. You know what I mean? And then you get to the thing and you have to compete with people who are just like outclassing. It's just so classically Korean American.
Yes.
That trauma. And I'm sure so many people have like a similar story to that. Like not just like piano, but like your parents being the one that like really fucked it up for you.
Literally,
and you have no agency whatsoever to climb out of that hole.
You're 6.
Exactly.
I wish at that point my mom had just turned around and been like, you better learn how to fill out a FAFSA. You know what I mean? Like that moment, just to prepare me to be like, no one's helping you. And like, you're
that's
on your
the deeper
own.
thing is like, you're on your own, bitch.
Yes.
Like, yeah. You could
All
be
of it.
as practiced, as prepared, as like check off every box you can and still be completely humiliated. So you're not safe. You are there's no safety for you because you did everything you could and you were told to and you still got fucked.
Fucked up. Like I'll never forget
Fucked up.
So fucked up. I just remember the judges being confused. Everyone was so concerned, and like
for the whole family.
Everyone's so yes, because we're like sweaty, like and all of it.
Oh God.
Yes.
Did you guys go out to eat afterwards at least?
Absolutely not.
You didn't go out to eat. That's like Absolutely the moment that you pick it back up is the like, 잘했어, or like, oh, you tried, and then you go to like get some kalbi, or like you go out and get, oh my
Nobody had
God.
kalbi money. Nobody had kalbi money. We spent it on these bows. We spent it on the entrance fee for this thing. I mean, I was heavy with bow money. We were
on the gas you wasted for going around and around in a goddamn circle.
It was just, we're going to go home. And you know what? I think my mom said nothing to me. She was like, whoa. Wow. She literally shared my embarrassment. She did not try to.
She should. I mean, I would.
Like, she was like, oh, that was rough. She did not try to make me feel better. She was like, oh, that was rough. And I think we ate like, just a regular ass. Like, I just remember the silence and the clicks and the clacks of the chopsticks on the bowl. Oh, anyways.
Rough.
Rough. All right.
What's take that with you, listeners. Take that piece of trauma with you and make your life and day feel a little better, because you're not going through a 6-year-old trauma like Gunji. Let's see. A 6-year-old trauma, first grade. Let's see. Okay, so in first grade, I was in Mrs. Constantino's class. Uh-huh. And I was the second shortest kid.
Okay, little feather in your cap for that. Okay.
Yes, hello, second place. And or 29th place, I guess.
Yes. I was always the shortest, though.
Yeah, we lined up in size order so that the teacher could see us all. So I was one behind Carlos, who was a shorter Mexican kid. Mm-hmm. And he and I, for some reason, did not get along. I think it's because we were two in the front, the two in the front, and also we were the two shortest.
Yes.
And also, he was around the Mexican kid. I was around dark Korean kid. So people confused us.
Yes.
So we were just,
yes. I mean,
I think like too similar maybe.
Yeah. No, people speak to my father in Spanish all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and this is like how like the darker Koreans, the field Koreans, we do often get confused for Latino or Filipino or indigenous. Like there's, it's just like, anyway, it's a look. But
it's a look.
This kid, one day, we would go downstairs to go lunch. Our teacher would bring us to lunch and then pick us back up and take us back into the room, blah, blah, right? So every day we did that. One day, he and I were sharing words. He kept like making fun of me, I think because I was wearing ponies.
Ponies?
Do you know ponies? This is why you're a good mom.
Yeah.
Because my mom, instead of buying me Nikes, she bought me ponies. And there's a reason why you're looking at me like that, confused, because that's not a real brand.
I know, but was it like a well-known off-brand?
I don't know. I think she got it at like
yes.
Payless.
Yes,
Payless
I'm looking at it
something.
right now. Yes, I do.
You've seen these.
Yes.
Ponies.
I have. Yes. They were Payless.
The Payless. She got 6 for 1.
Yeah.
So I think I was already feeling a kind of way about wearing ponies because every other kid is wearing a Nike shoe, Adidas, or Reebok. Or some kind of like name brand shoe. Mm-hmm. And I'm wearing these ponies, and this shorter Mexican kid in front of me is wearing Reeboks. And he looks to me and he goes, ew, what are those ponies? What are those? Like, ew, that's not even a real brand. And started like making fun of me. And I guess I don't know how I reacted. I think I blacked this out, but I might have like pushed him or something.
Sure.
While we were going down the stairwell, it was dark.
Yeah.
So I might have like knocked him in the back of the head or something for like making fun of me. Let's just say I did.
Yeah.
He turns around at one, like when you're going down the stairs and you have to stop because another group's coming up the stairs or whatever. Yeah. So I clearly remember this. It was in the dark. He turns around.
Why is it dark?
Because the stairways aren't as lit. I mean, it's not dark, but it's like darker than like the hallways. Okay. So we're going down the stairway and he turns around and he pulls down his pants and shows me his penis and balls. And I was like, ew. I said ew to him. And then he was like, you ill. And he took my hand and bit my arm.
What?
And there was bite marks on my hand. So the first time I had ever seen another boy's penis and balls I got bit. And that's why I didn't come out till I was 29. That's how you keep a kid in the closet, hun. Okay?
Wait a second.
6th grade trauma.
Wait a minute.
Why did he bite me?
No, wait a second. First of all, you were. He was also shorter than you, and then he was on the stair below you, so he was even shorter than you than he normally would have.
Yeah, and so exactly.
And so he had a good grasp of your arm. Was his dick and balls exposed during the bite?
No, he pulled it down. I said, ew. He pulled it back up, took my arm, and bit it.
Was this something that Carlos was known to do?
I remember he got suspended.
For exposing?
No, not for, because I didn't tell anyone, because I ain't no snitch.
Yes, and thank you.
But you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll always keep your secrets.
Thank you.
Except for on the Patreon. Go check us out. So stupid. But he got suspended later that year because he did something. I forgot what else he did. He got into a fight or something. But he was like a menace.
He liked to bite. He liked to expose. He was just trying.
Bite,
he was Agent Chaos.
Kick. Yes. He probably had like something happening in his house.
Sure.
But I remember that. I was like, I equated penis and testicles and bite, like pain. He bit me so hard that it left indents in my arm. Like, that's hard. You know what I mean? It didn't break skin, but like it left indentations.
Yeah, I mean, if it had broken skin, that's something. You would have had
been
to.
On.
Yeah,
it would have been on.
Yeah,
I would have had to go buck wild.
Really, you would have fought a person that would have bite you hard enough to draw blood.
Skin, I think if he broke skin, the Han monster in me would have came out, and I would have blacked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't break skin, I was like, it's okay. I could deal with this.
Because it's just so weird.
If I saw blood,
weird.
Yeah. If I saw blood, that little kid would have been dead. I would have went berserk. Because I did not have a good family home.
Yes.
So I was subjected to violence at home. So who knows what I would have done?
I mean, it's kind of crazy now when I think about it. It's like how often I also fought as like a kid. It's really weird.
Because you were exposed to violence at home. That's all you knew.
But it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It is like this anger thing that like, but I'm not like that at all now.
Well, yeah, we've learned and we've grown.
But there's like something
I'm glad
about,
we're not 6-year-old selves now.
But there's something about like that sort of age between that and puberty where you do sort of like, you are like, I don't know. I did really fight a lot. It is weird that we mentioned him. Like, yes. Like,
did you ever bite? Were you a biter?
I bit and I slapped and I've like gotten, yeah.
Wow.
I've slapped
did you ever get in trouble?
Yes. Like
I got slapped and I got my nuts punched by girls a lot. Yeah.
A lot?
Usually by one girl, Esther Lynn. Because I would say something like shady and she would come and knee my balls.
Okay.
That's how I knew I was funny. I was like, in the 4th grade, I would say shit and then this girl would knee me in the balls. I'm like, I'm getting a reaction.
That's also a bottom, by the way.
Yeah, that is my bottom. I feel like everything has been our bottoms this whole episode. Trauma Llama Ding Dogs. We barely had any tops. Welcome to gay life. No tops to be found. A bunch of bottoms.
We're only open face sandwiches here. Only open face sandwiches here. No tops.
A bunch of salty soaked bottoms. That's it.
Okay. I mean, I do think about it. It's just like when I consider like how often I did fight. Yeah, like when did you kind of grow out of that?
Fighting? Mm-hmm. I never fought. I never like physically. I got hit. I think like there's something about there was something sick about me when I was a kid, I think, where like I wanted to be hit by someone because that's how I was shown any affection.
Sure.
So I would try to get rises out of people so that they would get so angry and they would hit me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I never, like that now.
I never hit them.
Yeah.
Because I was always hanging out with girls and I wasn't going to hit a girl.
Sure.
The only time I ever slapped anyone, and I did slap him, was when I was a sophomore and this kid was a freshman. And someone told me that he was on an AIM chat talking shit about me. Turns out it was a lie to get me riled up. But I got riled up. And he was a tiny kid with glasses. And I was like, I remember I took him up to the hill and I was like, take your glasses off. He was like, why? I was like, take it off. He took it off and I slapped him.
Oh
like,
my
I hear you
God.
talking shit about me. He was like, what are you talking about? He started crying and I felt immediately bad. I felt horrible.
It's like a young, he went like trusted you and you went up there and he knew something bad was going to happen. Slap.
I know. I feel so bad.
Oh, sorry.
That's
to
why
that
I think
man.
I have adult acne because of that. You know what I mean? I think he cursed at me.
Is he a dermatologist now? Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, like,
all right. Well, anyway, check out our shows on the road. We are going to be in the East Coast. And by the way, not only the East Coast, we are setting up our West Coast tour and our Midwest and our South tours. So go to Kim's One Pod, wherever you're watching this or whatever. Our link tree's up there. Submit your where you want us to tour next and
tell
your
us
emails.
what city to go. Tell us what city to go to, what venue you want to see us at. Reach out. We're really responsive. Every time you send an email, we are responding. Any message you're leaving, we are responding. We're very available. So if you can reach out to to us.
And both our unions are on strike, so really not doing much. So reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you in real life. Our first 4 cities are, again, August 2nd, Pittsburgh City Winery. August 3rd, Philly City Winery. August 4th, New York, Stand Up New York on the Upper West Side. And August 5th, Boston City Winery. So please come out. We'd love to meet you in person. If you've been enjoying this, whatever, like wherever you're listening to or watching this, the real thing is even better, trust.
If you can believe.
Please come out. I know, so unbelievable. My head's going crazy. But we love you guys. Talk to you next week. See you on the road. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so glad that Alex is back.